Hello, 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 everybody. It's me, Rebel Trader, and we've got some TTI action for you this morning. Sometimes I do wish that we weren't always doing it so early, but it's actually not horrible. It's like 7:30 over here. It kind of feels good to be up that early. So we've got Weyoun here on the bottom playing Han 1 green. That's his last deck. And Ducks up top on what he says is a slightly outdated version of the Obi list. Let's follow it up. As you can see, this is basically running mostly set 5 stuff. I don't know if there's anything from set 6 in there that I can identify. No, it doesn't look like there is. But it's still a pretty solid deck. It's running the Virgin's Temple. So he's making force that way instead of by attacking, which is interesting. There are benefits and drawbacks, and I'm sure we'll see them appear. But this is a deck that not like a ton of things use the force. I mean, actually, a few of them do. I mean, like Obi does himself, but then there's Consular does, ETH Koth does, Itinerant does. So we'll see if not being able to do it multiple times in a round ends up hurting him. But yeah, he's running a bunch of upgrades, and that kind of stuff. This is Weyoun's, and I'm gonna give them the go ahead. This is Weyoun's Han 1. It looks pretty standard. He's got typos in there, so it is updated. I'm kind of surprised to see only one Han Solo unit. I'm not sure how standard that is these days. He's on the 80 haulers as well, and only one get out and push also. But it's still Han 1 green, and it's still pretty much the deck to beat at the moment. So yeah, this format we did do like a sort of modified trilogy format where each player submitted 3 decks, and they're doing a round robin, and they played 2 of them so far, and then the top 2 players are going to play again for a grand final. Yeah, sorry, my camera angle is just a little bit off. I think that's about as good as it's going to get. So Weyoun does get the resupply turn 1, which is pretty much exactly what you want. But it looks like in his hand he doesn't have a 4-drop to play. So he's going to either have to skip this turn or resource one of his 7s to be able to play this Chewbacca this turn. And Ducks also got the Jedi Consular, which is pretty much exactly what he wants. He's got a couple 5s to ramp into with it. And it's going to be Caddy Mundi coming down. Still coordinate Caddy. Let me pull that one up on stream. And so yeah, Weyoun is going to go for the resource play, which, I mean, he's sort of putting all his eggs in one basket here. Like, this Han flip better go well for him. Otherwise, he's got nothing to do. It is one of the downsides of this Han deck. Despite it having, some of the, most explosive plays in the game at the moment, it also is burning a lot of cards for it. So if you can manage to reestablish your card advantage over it, like, you can oftentimes grind them out with, any deck that has any kind of late game plays, which Dex does have a lot of. We're going to see a regional governor come out for free with the Jedi Consular. And Dux is going to call Emphas Nest. So he missed the Kelleran. But, I mean, the governor could have been killed anyway. All right, so Han's going to use the resource. Obi-Wan comes down. Interestingly, before the Chewie attack. So Chewie just gets to eat the Obi. Dux has got a Ki-Adi attack. Looks like he's going to pass here. And then here comes the Han from Weyoun. Ki-Adi's going to take the opportunity to get some damage onto the Han. Now we'll see where Han goes. Han could kill any of these units, but he'd trade with himself. He's going to kill the Ki-Adi, okay. Which is, I think, the right move because you want to deny the card draw from the Ki-Adi. Because Kelleran is going to play 2 cards here. Does suck to have your Han immediately taken off the board, but better actually that he gets to ready next round. Ooh, and that's a miss on the Kelleran. That is rough. Still a pretty impressive board for Weyoun. They're just commiserating about the Miss Kelleran in chat. So now we're Dux is going up to 5, which is his leader flip turn. And also a turn where he can play blue leader or Rey. I mean, we'll see if he decides to go for the Rey, but I mean, blue leader is kind of like not all that high impact here. It's like it kills Chewbacca, but doesn't do a whole lot else. And Weyoun says in chat, I wouldn't have needed to kill the Ki-Adi after all. Yeah. So it looks like Dux is just going to flip Obi-Wan right away, which is going to lead to Chewie just eating the consular. Obi could eat the Chewie here if he wants. That doesn't feel great because Kelleran can still eat the Obi. But you might just try to get as much value as he can out of the Obi. by like, eating the Chewy here, Kelleran goes in, then you blue leader the Kelleran. He's looking at Maz also. No, he's just gonna kill the Chewy. Buff up the governor. All right, blue leader. Gonna go in, clear the governor for Weyoun. Actually, Ray is looking not bad here for Ducks. Yeah, there we go. So it's not gonna be blue leader after all. But she lines up pretty well into this board. Takes it from Kelleran, which, I mean, Kelleran does eat her, but it lets Obi live another turn. Home one picked up for Ducks. Still a few turns away. But when we do get to that point, it'll be a game changer. Entrenched is kind of interesting here, but I don't think it ultimately makes that much of a difference. So Dux is looking at this Maz, which is, I mean, Maz is interesting. It lets you, like, go in, kill the Kelleran, and then still get an experience out of the OB, but you're floating 3 resources. So it looks like, yeah, he's going to go instead just trade with Kelleran and preserve the ability to play that blue leader. Well, he's just going to go to base with the surprise strike. First damage of the game. Coming down, and it looks like Dux is just going to trade blue leaders here. Does Weyoun have like a tech or something? Oh, he's got an L3. That is something. And Dux picks up a couple weenies here. Ooh, Kira picked up for Weyoun. That's massive because that's going to take the home one offline for next turn. I mean, Dux can, attack into her with these weenies and take her out that way. I just want to get the confirmation that it was, it was someone that was called for Kira. Hotshot Blaster, is that going to just kill the Yaddle? Yeah, it is. To keep this Kira alive for good. So Weyoun's giving good initiative here. Ooh, Kelleran picked up for Dux. That's massive. And the General's Blade. If he decides to go for that. But I think he might resource General's Blade. He might even not. Because he knows he's going to go for Kelleran this turn. Falcon Surprise Strike picked up for Weyoun. Thinking of resourcing the Falcon, which I would be surprised at. Unless maybe he had like a tech that he was planning for. Oh, Dux is playing out a turn here. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Just apologizing in chat. All right. Surprise strike for 7 to base. Ducks at 15 damage, having only taken 2 hits. Kelleran, that's not the strongest Kelleran I've ever seen. He might pull out this regional governor, which if he could snipe Falcon here, that would be incredible. Obviously, he might also call Tech. Like that'd be a pretty good call at this point. So he's gonna go for the governor. Open up the chat, see what he calls. Looks like home one called from Ducks. Weyoun does not even run home one. This is an open decklist tournament, so bit of a mistake there, I think. So Gunji going to take out the L3 there. And here's Falcon. Ducks is just gonna get an experienced Keller in here. Falcon gets him for 3. And there's the claim from Ducks. Ooh, Chewbacca picked up. And that might be it. Ducks has just taken a few too many hits. Ooh, sorry about that. He can go kill Kira here, which he will, which allows him to play this home one. But I don't know if he has anything that gets through Chewie. He's got to heal 2 right away. And I don't think he can do that. All right, so Weyoun's going to take game 1. With the Han Green. Let's take a look at the bracket, because this one, all the games do matter. So the standings so far, Ducks is 0-2 without a single game win. Weyoun is 1-1, having won 1-2-1 and lost the other 2-0. Uncle Rico is also 1-1. But he's got 1 extra game win because he took the 3rd off of Weyoun. Gerald 2-0. So the worlds for this one are, I mean, like if Gerald wins, then he's in, and then if Weyoun wins, then he would be in as well. In that world, if Rico beats Gerald, and Weyoun wins here, then we'd have a 3-way tie, and I think it would be Gerald and Weyoun most likely that would come out of that, because Gerald, I mean, it would depend on the score, because both Gerald's wins right now are 2-0. So if he lost 2-0, I think it would be Rico, and then Gerald and Weyoun would be tied, so be head to head. I don't know. Either way, Weyoun needs to win this one to be alive, pretty much. Because if him and Rico both lose, I think Rico's going to have that tiebreaker. But again, it depends on the score. I mean, because at this point, Weyoun has gotten this one. So worst case, Weyoun loses 2-1. In that case, you know, he'd be tied with Rico if they went 0-2, and he would actually have the tiebreaker there. So enough about that. Let's talk about sideboards here. Weyoun has some more ambush units in the board. The one of Plo, 2 Depas, the Emphas. I imagine like we're gonna want to see those. Spare the target, quite possibly, to deal with some like big units like Kiadi or the like. Bamboozle, confiscate, maybe. Actually, I mean, there's enough upgrades that I would definitely want to play those if I were Weyoun. He already has 2 bamboozles in the main, but I think I'd want all the upgrade removal I can get. Are they waiting for me? No, they're good. All right, you're getting started here. On Dux's side, he's got some Sentinels, which we'll see if he wants them. Actually, looking at this hand, or maybe he's still sideboarding here. Not sure what he's doing. He's got 3 Bright Hopes, 2 Constructed Sabers. Oh, was that what he drew? I think that was a hand that he drew. So I guess he is bringing in the Bright Hopes. Turrets, quite possibly could come in as well. Rival's Fall is a maybe. It feels a bit expensive to me. And he's got more late game stuff like Home Ones and Ewing. So it's possible Dux even just threw his entire sideboard in here. Like all of these cards are cards that would be good in this matchup, I think. All right, Dux is going to open us up with a Gunji, and he's got General's Blade in hand if he wants to go that route. Weyoun is going to... Well, he's got to go to 3 no matter what. We'll see if he decides to go... He's going to go Falcon here. Fast Falcon, as it's come to be called. And go for the resupply on 2, which I think is the better move. I think in this deck you'd rather skip 4 than skip 3. Now Dux does know that Weyoun is playing a lot of upgrade removal, or he should at least. I mean, he might not have read the deck lists based on the regional governor call last game. So maybe he's not aware. But he might also think there's, you know, more than there actually is. But either way, Weyoun doesn't have it in hand. So he's going to have to eat a big Gunji hit here. At least 5, 6 if OB goes for the experience here. Looks like he's going to be content with 5. Looks like Weyoun is actually going to go for an aggressive play here with the AT hauler instead of the resupply. Probably thinking like, okay, well I've got a race given that this General's Blade came down. And there's the governor. Going to call Bamboozle. Makes a lot of sense. And it looks like the Ducks, I guess, was maybe scared of a bamboozle there. And that's why he attacked first before going for the XP. Which I guess is, I mean, it's logical, but yeah, I mean, it's still possible that Weyoun has a bamboozle even if he didn't slam it. So we can pay the Falcon tax here. He's got initiative. Gets in for 4 with the holler. Gundy's going to get in for 6 here. Falcon gets in for 3. Ducks now has a General's Blade discount available. First, he's going to use the Force to give Governor the experience. He's going to activate here, which allows him to like go resupply into flip, or just going to play an L3 out of the row. Yeah, I suppose that works. I mean, he's giving up a card, but he's getting one in return. He could have also just played the L3 out of hand. Maybe he wanted to action churn for some reason. So we're going to see Blue Leader come down, just knock off the shield here. He does get to play it on 4 because of the General's Blade discount. And it looks like he's just going to claim here. Ducks has the Luke in hand, and this is the turn that you could really capitalize on that with General's Blade. Ooh, but spare the target picked up for Weyoun, and that can get the General's Blade off the table here. And yep, there we go. Spare the target. And things are starting to look like 2-0 for Weyoun. It's going to be difficult for Ducks to deal with those space units. There we go. Virgin Stepple is a mandatory trigger, so he did have the Genji at the start, so he does have to get the Force. Force is like that. It's with you whether you want it or not. Governor's going to kill the L3 before she attacks. And then we're going to see Surprise Strike coming down. And I think, well, he doesn't quite have it this turn, but he's got it next turn with a claim. I mean, Ducks can play Village People to block up the ground arena. But he's got no way to deal with these space units. This game looks a lot different if Weyoun doesn't pick up that spare the target. Because Ducks could actually feasibly win the race, I believe, if he still had that bleeded Genji. All right, and that's it. Looks like Dux just claims early instead of playing those Village Protectors. The Han just flips, and Weyoun gets it in 2. That's exactly what he needed if he's got any hope of making the cut here. So now let's take a look at, let me go into challenge and input that. So Weyoun's got it 2-0. So now Weyoun finishes with a record of 2-1 with 4 game wins. Gerald right now is at 2-0 with 4 game wins. Uncle Rico is at 1-1 with 3 game wins. So if Gerald wins, regardless of the score, it's going to be Gerald versus Weyoun in the final. If Uncle Rico wins 2-0, then it'll be Uncle Rico versus Gerald. And if Uncle Rico wins 2-1, then it will be... Wait, yeah, what I said was right? If Uncle Rico wins 2-0, because Weyoun has... Or no, Gerald actually has the tiebreaker with Weyoun. So it'll be Uncle Rico versus Gerald if Gerald wins 2-0. Wait. Yeah, if Rico wins 2-0, it'll be Rico versus Gerald. If Rico wins 2-1, it'll be also Rico versus Gerald, right? Yeah. So if Rico wins, so Weyoun is depending on Gerald to win here. If Gerald wins, it's Gerald versus Weyoun in the final. If Rico wins, then he gets a rematch with Gerald. So that's what it is going into the final. The final will be best of 3, like trilogy style. So each player will have access to all 3 decks, and we'll get to ban one of the opponents, and then we'll have to win with the remaining 2. So yeah, that's what the final's going to be. I don't believe we have a scheduled time for Gerald and Rico. Yeah, that's it. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone that is going back in time to get turkeys off the menu, and everyone else, of course, except Canadians, I suppose. Do Europeans celebrate Thanksgiving? I don't know. Do they? In America, we have this thing called Thanksgiving where we celebrate the... I don't know. But yeah. Thanks for tuning in, and remember to always take the initiative.